During the founding of the Builders Guild, throughout the early days of the Forever World, folk didn't really know what to make of them. As they brought their guild house, erected new farms to provide the locals with a strong source of iron, leather and beef, their true nature was to transform the world they had stumbled upon, carving out settlements, villages and even cities. However, there were problems. Inadequate equipment, insufficient supplies would force their hand into their next project. A place for villagers to breed, a couple of homes for their goods to be traded, and above all else, a mystical item capable of saving one from the brink of death. So join me today as I expand my hardcore Forever World, add in a villager breeder, 2 new homes to provide us with all the enchanted books we'll need, and construct our very first raid farm. So let's get rolling. Now the first part of the plan today is to get the villager breeder up and running, so I've got the villagers to stick inside of the house. So temporarily I'm just sticking down a potato field outside of the Builders Guild. Now when it comes to the villager breeder, I don't have a design to go around it just yet. I have an idea of what I want to do, but it's just too difficult at this stage of the game, as I want to have the villager breeder and the curing facility all intertwined in one in a big city over there where the village is. But for right now, I just need a way to get villagers into the homes that I'm going to be building over there. So I'm going to just put a design down right here. This was made by More Things Z. I've altered the schematic very slightly to better suit what I need. But ultimately, it is his farm and his design, and I will leave a link in the description to where I got this farm from. And it was, of course, as I was gathering resources, that we had a little visitor. Welcome to the Builders Guild in Craftington. Have a look around. Let me know what you think. Is it piglin approved? It's piglin approved! Yeah, and by the time the piglin had returned home, I had all the resources that I needed.
I have a dream, that's all I need. I'll make it happen with some work and belief. Know what I want.
There is the villager breeder. We've got 2 of them in place. I still need to get some more potatoes down, as this is not enough. But they need potatoes in their inventory to be able to breed anyway, and I don't have enough to throw into them to do that. So we can replant the few that I didn't plant in there. Then we can talk a little bit about my plans, as I want the village of Craftington to come all the way down here, accumulating in a large castle up there, where we will have a couple of boats on the river going all the way around to the village over here, where we will actually construct our first civilization outside of the Builders Guild and the Builders of Craftington. And as I'm doing these builds, I want to go down memory lane and grab some of the old builds from some of my old worlds that I really liked, revamp them slightly, upgrade them, and put them into this world. But that's the future. Today is a different chore. Yes, I'm hoping that I can pillage some supplies from the village, but naturally this idiot has beat me to the punch on this side. Oh, I see unharvested potatoes, and you, sir, are fired. Ah, you're one of the living ones. Don't come to Craftington, we roast you. This guy's fired too, but I am hired. And with that trip alone, I was able to add 45 more potatoes to the potato patch. Now it's going to take a little while for these potatoes to grow up, so let's start focusing on the first house. Now I want to build 2 houses that are very similar to each other with only small differences. And inside of both houses, there will be a grand total of 10 villagers. That's 5 apiece. And I want to make sure that these houses are located in the perfect place, and I want them to be kind of along the river bend right here. I do want to put a small dock with a boat here, and then a much larger dock over there, as if this place has 2 places for ships to come in. I also want to make sure these houses are located as far down as possible, so that it doesn't block our view of Craftington in its entirety. And as you can see with these houses, they really aren't that big. So what I'm thinking is a little bit of terraforming. We will cut this hill back to about here, and then maybe bring it up 1 more level. This actually looks like a good height here, but I'm thinking if we bring it up 1 more over here, then everything on this side will sit a little bit higher. So if we bring the retaining wall to about here, then we can kind of blend this to about here, and finally shape out this part that's just kind of been ugly. Then all I need to do is peel back this hill just a tad. This gives us a nice canvas where the house will fit perfectly. Well, Peachy, It looks like our base has been overtaken by the pillagers. Where's the rest of them? There's the one I'm after. Give me that ominous potion. How dare you invade the Builders Guild? Right. Inventory's full. There we go. We got the ominous Bad Omen 2. I was a Builders Guild member until I took an arrow to the knee. But before we could begin building, I needed to gather all of the resources. And it was at this point I decided to check in on the villagers because I haven't given them any potatoes yet. And I discovered that we actually had a few little babies. Yet apparently a few adults have snuck in there too. And after admiring the villagers, I realized I had all the resources I needed to build. So, let's get building it.
To see if I succeed, to see if I believe they're looking up to me. They want the best of me now, best of me now, best of me now, best of me. They want the best of me now, best of me now, best of me now, best of me. They want the best of me now.
Just like that, we've got a new house added into Craftington. And I wanted to try and mirror some of the techniques that we had used over with the cow farmer. But I've also updated to 1.21.10, which means I've got access to the new vertical slabs. I mean shelves. The new shelves. Got access to those, so I wanted to try and play around with those, and they fit really well in the places that I've put them. Little planter box out the backs to break up the two different tones of grey we've got going on here, rather grey and white. Two different tones of grey? What am I talking about? That's grey and white. Now I did want to keep it in line so that when we got off of our boat here on the dock, we would come around, the door would be right there. Then we'll go around here, and I plan to put another copy of this house sort of flipped and mirrored over this side. So we've got the two back sides of the buildings next to each other, and then you'd go further around and you'd come around this way and into that one. But I've only got 4 villagers grown up, and this suits 5. And for this one, I did actually design an interior. We've got the chiseled bookcases with signs for the 5 different books that the villagers are going to be selling. We've got the signposts above it so that I can mark what villager sells which book. And right here in front is where the lectern is going to go, so that they cannot get out once I break this trap door. We've got access to the holding pens upstairs. I did want to use honey blocks so that the villagers didn't try to jump out and escape and we didn't have to barricade them in. But I don't have access to that right now, so I'm just going to have to push them in over here. I'm hoping to maybe put a lectern up here, and they'll walk over, try and grab the lectern and fall down. And then I can easily shut the trapdoor like that to prevent another one from falling into the same hole. Now, I haven't tested this system down here yet to see if it works the way I'm hoping it will. But we should, yep, get a villager like that. An F3 and B. And then I can break that. Hopefully you go and get in the boat. Nope, you just... Sir! Where did you go? This is row your boat, not escape. Come on, in you get. There you go. Right, time to sail you all the way over to your brand new home. And with a little luck, you will pathfind straight to that lectern that I have left for you in this house. Oh, fantastic. You're actually going in here. I'll open... You're confused because the door is placed sideways so the zombies can't get in. There we go. And he's up here, but he didn't fall into the pen. Sir, that way. That's the way. That's the way. Yep, that. Nope. Sir. Down. Nope. Down. Sir. You're not going back. Aha! He is in. He has been jiggery-pokeried in. Okay. Now, that one was actually quite painless. Now, it's just a case of cycling through till I get one of the enchants that I really want. And check that out. Silk Touch for 8 emeralds. We'll trade with him once. That'll permanently lock in his trades, meaning that we now have ourselves Silk Touch. And it wasn't long before I had 2 in place. And after a little bit of trading, I've managed to get Fire Protection 4. We've got Silk Touch, Looting 3, Mending, and Efficiency 5. This one's a little bit pricey, but all of the trades are now locked in. The Mending one is a little bit more expensive than I would have liked, and the Looting one is insanely expensive. The Silk Touch one is quite cheap, and I suppose the Fire Protection ain't too bad. We're only going to be putting it on 1 piece of equipment. But that is the first trading house all sorted. Although I am going to strip this block line out right here and put in some barrels so that I can stick my emeralds in there and my paper ready for trading. But barrels are workstations, and I want to put another one of these houses just over here. So I don't want to create any more distractions for the villagers to go chasing the barrels to become fishermen. And folks, it was as I was gathering some spruce wood that I realized that we had hit day 100. I am now only 408 days away from my all-time record. Now between the two houses, I would like to have a tree. So it's time to build the tree. Now if you're new to the channel, in every single episode of my Forever World, I build a custom tree. During the process, I ask if you could help support the channel by either leaving it a like, clicking subscribe, dropping a comment, or even becoming a channel member. Channel members get their name and their heads put within the Forever World, so they will always be remembered, and the very first channel member is going to get something special dedicated to them, as we currently don't have any. So if you would like to join and become a channel member, now is the perfect time. I put a full-time schedule into every single one of these videos, and I do pour my heart and soul into all of them, and I try to give you the very best of me in each and every instance. So thank you so much for the support, and let's get back into the video. Now with this tree, I tried a very different technique. I tried to use darker tones underneath with the brighter tones on top, and I think it turned out really well. I like the fact that it's kind of arched over this house. We are going to put another version of this house sort of right there that's going to be up a block to add some deviation. But I always say this every time I do a tree. Just the level of detail and immersion the trees add to the world for me. It's one of the reasons why I started doing them in every episode, because I wasn't that good at them. And I got better and better and better with practice. And now I absolutely love doing them, although I am terrified when I'm up there that if I fall and hit the ground, which I did, I was left with 2.5 Rs. Oh. And I only fell off of this canopy here. It was a nightmare. Anyway, we've got this tree in now, and the world is coming along. Now that we have the one house in place, I do want to start focusing on the second house and its location. Now I am going to bump it up 1 block so it's still a block higher than this. That way we create a little bit of height variation. And I like the fact that this tree kind of covers part of the build as well. Now for those wondering, this is going to be pretty much an exact copy of this house. I really like these two just being on the river here. So it's time to get, oh great, he's turned up. I was wondering where you were going to be. And if I want to look at his inventory, it seems like I've got a, what's this? Open eye blossom. Yeah, you've not really got anything that I want. Sorry about that. You have to drown just to look at him. Where are you going? You can see what I mean about it being very similar, just flipped around. It's actually just mirrored from this one, as we've got the villagers on this side and the entranceway will be on this side. I did debate having the entranceway on this side and having both of them facing one another, but I didn't like that. It was convenient, yes, it was very convenient to do that. It would make things a lot easier, but I wanted the style of just being able to walk around my village, walk around Craftington, and have all of these different places to visit, and not just be going to the one area. And also I worried about putting too many villagers that close to the iron farm. Thankfully, when I was gathering the resources to build the first house, I made sure to gather enough so that I could do the second one straight afterwards.
I have a dream, that's all I need. I'll make it happen with some work and belief. Know what I want, so I'll take it on. I've made mistakes, but mistakes make you strong. Let's break it down for a minute. I want the crown, I'm gon' get it. You hear me loud, man, I'm winning. Yeah, Charlie Sheen will be grinning. These ladies know that I'm sinning, and this is just the beginning. I'm closing in the ninth inning. There ain't no point in resisting. Living life like a dream.
Well, the second house came in really nice, and I think that the way that we're going to access this second house is via a pathway that's going to come up here, sort of down here to where I want to put the main dock area over there. But then it's going to wind around up here, going around here, and then meeting back up over here. But I want to get the 5 villagers in place. I'm not going to focus too much on getting all of their trades sorted out because that just takes forever. But I do want to get them all into their holding pens as long as I've got enough bread up. And in no time at all, with no issues with the villagers whatsoever, they are all in places. And I haven't actually checked what their default trades are, so we'll just have a little look together and see. We got piercing 4. This is like actively not what I wanted. I'm going to go through a little, just see if I can find any of the ones that I want. These guys are being incredibly stubborn. I managed to get a sharpness, but the price is astronomical. But I've still got a sharpness 5. I also managed to get a sweeping edge, and that one ain't too bad. But I cannot get unbreaking from any of these guys whatsoever. I have done so many times. I have broken, look at 543 times I've broken these lecterns. We're going around and breaking this one, putting it down, waiting for him to get his job. Break this one, do the exact same. He'll get a job. And this one, wait for him to get a job. Go through and check them. Projectile protection. Wow, that is one. Oh, feather falling. That is actually one that I won. Quick charge. Okay, feather falling is... No. Yeah, I messed up the feather falling one. Fortune 3, I've got fortune. Okay. I need a break from those villagers. They are driving me absolutely crazy. For my own sanity, it's time to leave the villagers behind and move on to the second goal, to set up a raid farm to get ourselves unlimited Totems of Undying. Now, to set up the raid farm, I would need to traverse the Nether, just so that I can find an ocean biome where I can build the raid farm out there. But of course, before I can even begin building the farm, I need to do a little bit of shopping. Yes, the only thing that I need that I don't have is a bell. Yes, for the majority of the resources, as I said, I already had most of them. I just needed to build the thing. Now, for the first part of the farm, I need to build a platform that is about 64 blocks by 64 blocks. And this is gonna take a while. And that will take a while. So I thought, let's get most of the raid farm built, and then I can fill the platform in afterwards. Now, I am aware that I'm using the wrong fences here, but these are just temporary fences so that I can mark where the center is, and I can go and get the correct fences a little bit later on. And now I need to draw a smaller box inside of my larger box. And now I need to dig out the floor. Yeah, naturally, there's a drowned with a trident. Right, that's him dead. And he didn't drop the trident. Now I can get back to laying the new floor. And now that we've laid the floor, I need to take some of it out. And that dolphin is having my cobblestone. And now that I have a box, I need a corner that goes down 20 blocks. And when I'm in my hole, I just need a way to collect all of the items that they'll drop. And then I just need somewhere that the villager can stay once we get him in here. Which brings me to water, staircase, more staircases, sleep, lava, and more water, trapdoors. Now comes the fun task of getting a villager into the farm. Thankfully now leads actually work, and I forgot all about this till just now, so I'm just going to drag you with a lead. Yes, I am. Into the Nether we go. Ooh, that was a very quick. We're just, sailing through the Nether, as one does, and there we have it. He's now in his prison. Forever home. Now, as far as the raid farm goes, it's pretty much finished. I just need to finish filling in all the dirt. And that took a lot longer than I care to admit. And it seems like for some reason out here it rains every single day. I've had rain almost this entire time. Now, I pretty much got everything that I need. We can throw some of this stuff away. And we are almost ready for the first test of this farm. I didn't bring the ominous potions with me, I forgot those, so I'm going to nip back, get those, and then we can give it a run and see if it works. So I've got all of the ominous potions that I have. There is a watchtower not too far away, so if we need more, we can go and get some. I've also made sure that we've got an entrance into the farm over here. This goes all the way down and underground. And I do have an idea for how I want the farm to look. I don't want it to just be this floating square out there. But for now, I don't have the resources I need to make it look the way that I want it. And to be fair, we just need it operational. I just need those Totems of Undying. So we'll drink our potion, and we'll see how it all goes. And thus, the raid begins. And it looks as if they are indeed spawning up here and making their way towards the center. And just like clockwork, they are falling down. The raid is going fat and diddly-tastic. We're a few waves in, and we should be completing it very soon. And just like that, we are the hero of the village. We managed to get ourselves well over a stack of emeralds. And what's this? 7 Totems of Undying. We should be able to make sure now that we are... that we are doing really well. Now, I want to take some of these emeralds back and start doing some trading, but I also want to come back out here with the mending tools and do ourselves a second raid. Now, I do have a texture pack that renders the Totem of Undying invisible, but I'm going to be super vigilant this time around to make sure that I always have it in my hotbar and don't accidentally put it away. And thanks to that raid, we can get ourselves a couple of silk touch books. They just threw books at me. They literally just threw books at me. I've never had that before. And after having books thrown at me, I bought 4 of their mending books. And I started adding them to our pickaxes. But I kind of want to do one more raid, and why is he allowed to sleep before I am? Sir. Now I can sleep. So another ominous potion down the hatch, with tools in the half-hand. And that raid went, well, slightly better, apart from the invasion of Vexers that I had. A couple got down here. Now that we're back home, I can finally pick up the rest of the books that I need. And this guy seems to have occupied our boat, but he seems so happy. And with this final book, I have a set of tools that are actually usable. We only need efficiency 5 on the pickaxes and the axes, but the efficiency 4 one will do us for now. And so there we have it. We have grown Craftington by adding in 2 new villagers with 10 residents. We've also erected a villager breeder across the way so that we now have unlimited villagers. But more importantly, we have secured our place in the hardcore forever world by ensuring that we continue to survive with an unlimited supply of Totems of Undying. And all of that has been accomplished as we passed 100 days survived in our forever world. And that is where today's adventure comes to a close. As always, I am Casey, you are the awesome folks, and today I have given you the best of me.